Hello, everyone. This is Phil Yaeger, and welcome to my podcast called CPA Review and More. Now, we do discuss CPA review topics, but we also discuss a lot of the more. And I brought in guests to do cryptocurrency, so you know what that's like. All right. We've had certified financial planners. We've had all the professions. So if you graduate in accounting, you're not exactly sure what you want to do. All right. We've been going over at least 2 years with all different types of guests. And personally, I don't want to sit here and talk about CPA review all the time. I really don't. All right. Because I've taught it for over 40 years and it gets boring just doing that. So we want to make this interesting. We try to get people, and I'm happy to say that we're in the top 10% of business podcasts. And last month, might as well brag a little. All right. Last month, we had 58,000 downloads of the program for last month. All right. And I thought to myself, who is downloading this stuff? Are they crazy? And we actually are becoming very popular in Japan. Okay. It's probably because they know I like sushi. And also, all right, Argentina. All right. And that's because I always sing, don't cry for me, Argentina. So no, I don't really. If I started singing, you would leave. But today we have Lauren Haverlock. Did I get that?
You did. That's perfect.
Thank you. Thanks. Lauren is coming to us by way of Los Angeles, not by way of Los Angeles. She's in Los Angeles, California, and she is a partner. And we'll talk about what she does. All right. Are you?
I'm not a partner. I'm not a partner.
All right, get the people in. We'll make sure you become a partner by the end of the podcast. All right. Now, what's your level? Are you a manager?
Senior manager.
Senior manager. You know, it's amazing how they had the titles. They've changed since I was in public accounting. Used to be
I'll take the promotion. That sounds great.
You've been there, what, 4 years?
I've been with Moss Adams for 4 years at this point. Yes.
Now, in order to get to your next level, all right, what do you have to do that you're not doing now?
Oh, it's a process. So the partnership admittance process, I think at every firm is a lot of work, and I think it's really for the best. That you're assessed at what you're doing, your connection to the people who you work with, your connection to the community, your ability to attract and retain clients, employees, and really it's a process. And I appreciate the process because it helps. You're a partnership, right? You're all in it together, and you want to bring in partners who are going to contribute to the partnership and to enhance the company and the brand and the people there. And so Moss Adams does have a process that I've been a part of since I've been there, and it's aimed at ensuring that you've got a great book of business, that you're building a team, that you're focused on your personal growth, becoming a leader at the firm, and it's really great. So hopefully soon there's I can make it to that next level, but I'm in no rush because really I don't want to say I'm in no rush, but I trust the process is what I meant to say on that.
Do you have to bring in clients at this level?
You do bring in clients, but the firm sees, selling really more as a growth focus and a team aspect. So especially on the nonprofit side, our bringing in and supporting and serving our clients is you connect audit, tax, consulting, and we, have clients that are prospects. We have growth with our current clients as they grow and change. And so it's an iterative process. We track all that sort of stuff with our databases, and that sort of thing. But we do have to bring in clients. I think that's part of the partnership element at most firms.
Now, does Moss Adams only do not-for-profits, or is it just your office that specializes in not-for-profits?
No, the firm itself is a firm that does all sorts of accounting, consulting, tax for all types of industries. Nonprofit is actually even a subset within a larger industry that we work with, public, nonprofit, and tribal organizations. Firm-wide, we serve all types of entities: retail, healthcare, food and beverage. The list goes on. There's a bunch of manufacturing, all that. I think our industry specialization encompasses most industries, in fact. And then laterally, we have, different service lines: audit, tax, And consulting has been a really, really big part of what we do as a firm. So it's interesting. It's very dynamic, and it's exciting to be part of a team and to be able to serve clients as a team. I work on nonprofit, but my clients are complex. They have state and local issues, international tax issues, compensation issues. And, we focus on finding the right person at the firm to help our clients and meet them where they're at. So it's nice.
Has the revenue being brought in by a company like Moss Adams, is it changed? For example, a lot of CPA firms, when I was getting out of school, they made their money from audits, all right? But I've heard, and correct me, please, because I don't get out there and talk to everybody, is most of the revenue coming in from consulting, or are they still making most of it from audits?
I'm not totally sure on that. And I think that as I'm not representing Moss Adams on this podcast. I'm doing this personally. And so I'm not sure. I know that all types of accounting firms are focusing more on consulting
Advisory.
services, right? The AICPA has come out and kind of talked about providing that, being a client advocate, being a client service provider that is holistically helping organizations and clients. So I think consulting is a natural part of that. And I think in a lot of firms, we're seeing movement with bringing in consulting groups as part of an organization. And that's really exciting to be able to offer that level of service firm-wide, and that, us as individual practitioners don't have to know everything. We can be really good at what we're really good at. And then we have other people at our firm that are also really good at what they're good at. So that's exciting.
Now, this is not a loaded question, okay? Please, I don't want anything, all right? You probably, when you started in public accounting, did you do mostly audits? We worked on the audit staff?
No, I came in as,
Oh.
I did an internship that I was tax and audit. I had thought I was going to be an auditor, and really I didn't connect as much with the audit work as I hoped. And it could have been just situationally, because I think audit is fascinating. Now, being part of, the audit team as, a tax provision person, I really enjoy the process of the audit. I think it's a great area of a career to get into, because you're getting to know an organization inside and out, revenue streams, expenses. But I really loved tax. Tax was exciting to me. It's weird to say, and I joke with a lot of my friends. They think it's funny because a lot of my friends are in like exciting industries like television, and I love tax. I really enjoy the code.
Famous people? Do you know famous people in television?
I mean, no, everyone's famous in their own way nowadays, right?
Oh yeah, I'm quite famous. I can't. I have a
Exactly.
whole. Yeah, when I walk down the street, the young girls go after me. They want my clothing. No.
Well,
No, yeah, maybe not that, but no, I think that's what interests people about, at least me. I always liked Los Angeles because that was the what would you call it, the hub of all back then. All right, all the movies were done there, all the TV. Now, of course, it's changed. All right,
it's changed. Yeah, it's
so
all
you
over
don't
the
really,
place.
you don't get exposed to any type of showbiz people in what you're doing, because you're doing not-for-profit, correct?
Correct. I mean, we work with organizations and individuals in charitable giving and planning. And so oftentimes it's a person that might be known publicly, people who have charitable foundations or are leveraging their success or their fame and helping the world. And I love being a part of those conversations with individuals. But again, they're all just people doing their jobs. some succeeding and more publicly known than others. But yeah, I mean,
Just
it's
leave
always
them
exciting.
alone. Don't keep bothering them. No, that's true.
If you live in Los Angeles long enough, sometimes you just start seeing them that way. You see them at pickup and you're like, oh, I know that person. When you're picking up your kids from school, you're like, oh, that person is from this show or that thing. And they are just people getting through their day like the rest
But
of
a
us.
lot of them don't like to be bothered. Others do. I mean, I've had that experience, but that's another class. Now, from what I'm hearing, if I may, going back to the auditing, tax prep, that tax advisory compliance work, all right, it sounds to me like, given a choice, and correct me if I'm wrong, all right, that you really liked, you like what you're doing now? You're doing the tax compliance stuff now?
I'm doing tax compliance and consulting
You
for
like that,
nonprofit.
you like that better than when you did the auditing?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have a great perspective because I was only an audit intern. And after that internship, I declared that I wanted to be a tax person. And so I've done tax my entire career and I've loved it. I've evolved, I think like a lot of individuals do, from a generalist doing all sorts of tax work, individuals, corporations, partnerships, to focusing in the nonprofit area, because that's where my passion is. I um, just found this kind of unique niche area at the time when I got into it. It's a little bit more, mainstream, I think, at this point. And I just loved working with the organizations and the charities and helping people with their charitable giving. So I was fortunate I found that, and that's where I've been for the vast majority of my career at this point.
My first job in a public accounting firm outside of college was to work with Seidman and Seidman, which is now, I guess, BDO Seidman. And they put me on the audit staff, and we were down in the Wall Street office, okay? And I remember this, I was there for maybe 3-4 weeks, and then they say, you're going out on an audit of a bank or a brokerage firm. I don't know which one it was. So I said, all right, what am I going to do? He says, well, you have to sit in the vault and count all the securities. All right. And I said, oh, that sounds very exciting. I know my courses in college prepared me for that, that and printing, Xeroxing, we used to call it. All right. Or if a partner said to me, oh, you're just sitting around here, I copy all these files. And I would be, I was a young, stupid kid. I said, sir, I don't remember taking a course in Xeroxing. And
Brave.
I was brave. And I just gotten married too. And my wife was still in her last year of college. I didn't think about the consequences, but there was a shortage of accountants back then. I didn't go in there and make those comments to get fired. That wasn't my thing. But I really did like the work I was doing. And and then the other stuff was going out on a standard audit. And as a junior, we were called junior accountants. I would do the bank reconciliations, the proof of cash, send out the confirmations, trying to think of all the exciting work that I did. All right. So after a year, that's about all I was doing. It was the basic stuff. And I went to one of the partners who was, I actually go to him. We had a partner we would report to, or a manager, but I said, I really don't like, I really like doing tax returns. And he says, now this is how things have changed. All right. In order to do tax returns, you had to be a tax attorney. So you had to be a CPA attorney. All right. That's the only people they would let do tax returns. So I said, well, I'm not an attorney and I'm not a CPA. All right. But I really enjoy, because I like to sit down with the clients and talk to them about things and that type of thing. It's like a puzzle in a way. All right. So after much bothering him, they said, all right, we'll give you a couple of tax returns. And they gave me tax returns for Lerner and Lowe. You ever heard of them?
No.
All right. I'm a big Broadway music junkie. All right. Camelot, My Fair Lady, that was Lerner and Lowe. All right. So I'm sitting there saying, oh my gosh, Lerner and Lowe. I mean, and I couldn't believe what they made in royalties, but I enjoyed it. Now, I didn't get to talk to them, but I said, this is what I really enjoy. And then they gave me a few more, and I was really happy. Now I was happy in the firm. And now, of course, why continue to make a person happy? Let's get them back to be, really discouraged and disappointed. Well, we're going to put you back in the audit staff. And I said, I like what I'm doing. Yeah, but, it makes no difference what you like. It's what the needs of the firm are, okay? I thought all of a sudden we were going to have a rah-rah-ree, Seidman, and we weren't called teams back then, okay? We were just staff. But I didn't like audits. And the guy who works for me, who teaches auditing for the course, he loves auditing. I say to him, Ron, what do you love about it? I said, oh, I worked for 7 years for Big Four. Actually, it's called the Final Four now, isn't it? Used to be the used to be the Big Eight. Is that what it was called? All right.
I,
And then all that litigation.
I came in with the big five, so
The
I
Big
have to.
Five. Well, now it's the Final Four.
Oh no.
But he loves it. I say, well, I'm glad you love it. So he does, I mean, this person has such passion for the audit process. And, I guess that's what makes the world work, right?
Yeah,
Everyone likes different things.
it's great because it's so different now. Now, really, we allow people to direct their own career. So,
But then,
yeah, exactly. If you're finding that you connect in a certain area over another, a firm usually is happy to bring you to that place. We want people who are passionate about what they're doing. And I do see a lot of people that love audit. They like the travel, they like the being at the client and interacting with clients. I with the advent of technology, being a staff looks a lot different today than it did,
yeah, we didn't have
when
the
we started,
technology.
right? I was remember highlighting in my internship, highlighting all transactions over, 100,000 in a ledger that, went on for pages and pages. That can be done like that. You don't need a person highlighting with a ruler and a highlighter. So, stuff that seemed mundane, I think now is assisted by technology, and now staff can be really elevated to be analytical and put that college degree to use, put
Yeah,
that CPA exam to use.
I think people coming out of school now in accounting, all right, they don't realize they can do financial planning if they wanted to. All right, they can do advisory services. I like to do something where I'm actually meeting people and talking to people. And I found with the audit, all right, being in a vault of a bank, I started talking to myself, but I just didn't like that. But today, these students, they don't understand. I think, you talk about a lot of people are not going into accounting anymore. A lot of people are not taking the CPA exam. I really think they don't know what a CPA does. And that message is not getting across. Now, the question is, who would get that message across? I mean, you don't have time to go to schools all over the place and say, let me tell you what I do and how exciting it is. The graduates think finance is the hot area. Okay. All right. That's the big thing. Finance. You find that? I don't know if you do you go out and recruit, by the way? Is that part of your function?
Yes, I do. I do recruiting. It's one of my favorite parts of the job is interacting with the people who are excited about their career and excited about the prospects of public accounting.
So what are you noticing that less people really care about? Are you getting less people you're interviewing when you go to the colleges?
No, we have. I mean, I feel as though we're getting a good amount in general. I think all industries are struggling with shortage of individuals, and in public accounting, I don't think it's any different. We need and we want great people. We want a great, diverse, and excited workforce, and we essentially can't get enough of those individuals. So yeah, there is a little bit of a shortage, but there's still plenty of people out there that are graduating and learning about public accounting, and that it's not just auditor or tax work, and that you can go a lot of places with this degree and this understanding.
But I think, do you find that any of them you interview at the universities, do they say anything about the concern that the profession is very dull, boring? Do you run into that at all?
Not as much
I
anymore.
guess they wouldn't discuss that with you if they want a
No,
job with your company.
that perception seems to be external looking in from anyone who's not been involved in it. When you're in the details of a tax return or an audit, it might not be as engaging as when you're a manager and you're interacting and you're dealing with people. Public accounting is really long-term a people profession. You're mentoring your employees, you're connecting with clients, you're out there interacting in public, and when you come in for those first 5 years, it's almost like an apprenticeship, right? You're being paid to learn and grow and bring yourself in all this knowledge. It reminds me of that. But long term, after those 6 years of a staff senior, once you hit manager, like public accounting looks totally different. And that's the crux of the career is once you're a manager and you're managing work and you're managing a workforce and you're, working on client economics and that sort of thing. And that's the exciting part of public accounting. And people seem to be surprised a lot of times when they meet accountants and we're really personable, but
And
know
by
what
the way, if I might say, a very nice white teeth.
Thank you. Thank you. I that's a shout out to my parents for, I guess, the orthodontia and
Orthodontia and
and
great.
floss,
Yeah.
floss and brush and
No,
go to your dentist.
you have great white teeth. Anybody else
Thank you.
told you that?
I hear I hear that a lot.
Does anyone in
But I
your
also
firm
smile.
stop you and say, you have nice white teeth? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I smile a lot too. It's
That's good. You're a happy
yeah,
person.
it's good. Yeah. I love what I do, and I'm very lucky to have a great supportive firm and a great team. So it makes the busy seasons less stressful. We're in the middle of it right now, right? It makes it more enjoyable when you're working with people and on clients that you really are passionate about. So,
And you're perfect to go out and talk to, college graduates who, want to, go into accounting.
yeah.
But unfortunately, they're not all like you. You know what I'm saying? That
Well, I mean, I started out like all of them. I started
are
out
you
there.
always this bubbly? You're a very bubbly person.
I'm an introvert. I'm a true
You're an
introvert.
introvert.
Yes, I am. I
I
am,
find that hard.
but I like interactions. I like, one-on-one interactions. I like talking to people and meeting people. I get a little overwhelmed at a meet the firms type of an event with a lot of people and a lot of interaction. And I need to retreat back into my, home cocoon and recharge. But I do enjoy people and getting to know people and talking about this. I I like recruiting. I mean, it is, yeah, you do. There are a such a different group of, every person that comes through recruiting is completely different. Everyone is totally
Right,
unique.
right.
But it's exciting because, one of the things with public accounting that we need to work on is having a diverse workforce, people that want different things out of their career, people that have different backgrounds, people that have had different experiences in college. And so I like, bringing that and focusing on that with recruiting as well. So that's kind of a fun thing.
If I was one of the people looking for a job, okay, all right, say something to me that makes public accounting excitable. That, all right. I don't know, public accounting. I mean, it sounds, you're bookkeepers, aren't you? And then you probably say, no, we're not bookkeepers. And I'll say, all right, well, what do you find exciting about it? I mean, tell me something and make me excited about the profession. All right.
I would just reiterate what I just said. It's really a profession
I'm
about
putting you on the
people.
spot. I
Yeah.
do apologize.
No, I tell this. I just had a conversation yesterday with somebody, a college candidate about this. It's public accounting is a people profession. The technical part is really important.
Yeah,
Getting
that's
really good.
interesting. I don't think people think that way.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
know.
and that's what I'm saying. They don't. The CPA profession would be better if people knew really what does a CPA do. All right, does a CPA, is he like portrayed in the movies? Where they have the green eye shade and all that. All right, and
I mean,
actually,
there are, right? Some can be that way, and it can feel that way when you're a staff. It can feel that way when you have, 50 hours of charge work and you're just churning out returns or getting through audit work papers. It can feel that way for those 6 years that you're a staff and a senior. And even sometimes as a manager, senior manager, or partner, it can feel like you're churning through a lot of things. But as you progress on, as you move forward, as you get that comfortable with your technical knowledge, you get comfortable with researching and finding answers, and you're comfortable with what you know and what you don't know, that then it transitions to you're building a team, you're developing people, you're helping to find your replacements. That's what, always train your replacement. That's what you want to do in public accounting so that you can keep everyone
moving up. Yeah.
moving up. Yeah. And then from a client perspective, you're helping your clients. Yes, we have to, drop some numbers in a return and do annual compliance. That's the base of what we do at our firm and what a lot of CPA firms do. So much of it is you're an advisor to your client. You're trusted, and they look to you for questions that you might not have an immediate answer to, like, hey, we've got this insurance policy, what do you think we should do? And I probably don't know all of the answers about insurance policies, but we know people who know those answers. And so you're connecting, your group of people, and that's long term. After those kind of 6 tough years, that's what you start transitioning to when you're a manager and senior manager. And if you think about the longevity of a career, the, 20 plus years that you're going to be in public accounting, that 6 years feels like a lot when you're in it, but you've got a long career ahead of you, and that's what you're shooting for. That's when public accounting really starts.
I find it interesting that you think you're introverted. I mean, a lot of
I
people.
do.
A lot of people who be introverted would be afraid to come onto a podcast like this. Were you worried about that at all? Did you worry? What
I'm just afraid of saying the wrong thing.
Crackpot or something, no, really.
That's a true concern. It's it's a true concern. No, I mean, I think that there's, I mean, I talk about this sort of stuff all the time at, firm events, with our company employees, with our interns. We do a lot of talking. It's also easier on Zoom. It's a little bit, it's not like you're presenting to a large group of people. I'm just worried about saying the wrong thing, foot and mouth syndrome.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I mean, you're not going to go in there and say to the group you're talking to, by the way, you're a bunch of ugly people. No. And I'm sure that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, I actually, my courses in college that I enjoyed the most was public speaking.
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably one of the best and most applicable courses to life and to any profession that you're doing, is getting comfortable speaking. What did you learn in that course? What was it? What did you do?
Well, I took, one was debating. Okay. Ooh. All right. Now that class, it was fun, debating and, teaching you. In fact, I don't remember that much about debating because the professor, he was a young guy just out of he was in a master's program, and he seemed like the guy who, when he went to college, he wanted to be popular, but he wasn't. So when we would debate, the group we would debate was from a very, a fraternity, all right, who were the most popular people. So he used to go out at night and actually play cards with them, all right, and I mean,
it seems like a conflict of interest.
No. So I mean, he gave our group C's and he gave the other groups B and A's, But the one that I like is where you stand up, you find the topic, you stand up and you talk about it, and then you have to give references to where you get this information. And all right, and I came up with these things, and went to magazines. I found, remember when they had magazines back then? There was no internet. So I went to this magazine, all right, and I got these articles. I spoke about if you drink too much Alka-Seltzer, all right, you can get alkatosis.
Is that true?
I don't know. I read this article and they quoted doctors. I don't know if these doctors, all right. And so, when you start it, when you, they tell you, when you start talking, you got to come in there and start it with something different to grab their attention. All right. So I walked in with a glass of water and 2 Alka-Seltzer tablets. And I put them in there and I said, because Alka-Seltzer used to say, "Kaplunk goes the tablets." This was the commercial back then. So I said, "Kaplunk goes the tablets," right? Wrong. And then I talked about how bad alkatosis could be. I didn't even know what alkatosis was. All right. But, he looked at me and he said, you have very good eye contact with the people, and you know when to tell a joke. And, and I really like standing up there and giving these stupid talks that, like, oh my God, I'll tell you one other one: homosexuality in the prison system.
Oh, no, I mean, let's.
Hey, he found it very interesting. It wasn't anything off color. It wasn't anything off color, and what can they do about it and that type of thing. But you had to come up with topics that would sort of grab people, and if you asked me what I spoke about, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's easy. I personally have an easier time speaking about what I know, right? Like, I don't have to do debates and speech, but I talk a lot about public accounting, about tax returns, I talk about running. So I find that I'm okay talking if I'm speaking to something I know about. I think that talking about something that you've researched or just read about would be really, really hard. So
I hate to brag, but I am the foremost expert in this country on homosexuality in the prison system. I know I was 20 years old, but the professor's sitting there and he's finding it so interesting. And I knew he would give me probably an A or B plus or something, and he liked it, but it's funny. I wasn't sure I wanted to be in accounting, and I couldn't figure out what am I going to do, because we had to declare our major in our freshman year. Different from most schools, it's sophomore, I think, or junior. All
I'm
right.
not sure anymore. Yeah, I think it's different on every school,
So
but
we had to
yeah.
come in. We had to come in. I went to University of Rhode Island, New England, and we had to declare a major. And my mother said, "You got to be a CPA, because everyone in our town were either lawyers, doctors, all right, or CPAs. Okay, all right." She thought I'm going to make a killing in that profession, and I kept saying, "I don't like accounting. I really don't." And I said, I had to take 3 business law courses and 3 speech courses. And I didn't realize those were my favorite classes. And little did I know, I didn't really learn that I liked teaching, until I was out of school for a while. All right. And, so I worked at a college. That's how I started getting in there, community college. And it was different. The students were a lot different back then. They really were. It's changed a little, but that's how I found what I like. Now, I got out, I was still doing tax returns. I started a practice and I liked it because of what you say. You talk to people, all right? To me, it's like a puzzle. They come in, they say, all right, this is the situation. We feel we're paying too much. Give us some ideas on how we could reduce our taxes, all right? And I love talking to people. So I thought taxes was actually a lot of fun. It's like a puzzle, isn't it? Don't you ever look at it like a puzzle?
Completely agree. Yeah, it is. It is. It is fun. I think that there's a special subset of humans that think that taxes are fun, but hopefully we all find public accounting, and then it's a perfect match.
Yeah. Well, I think we were talking about the CPA evolution, which in 2024, they want to make the CPA to bring it up to, in other words, people are going into consulting, advisory services, all right? And a lot of them are going into that, all right, more so than auditing and public accounting. However, this is the complaint, all right? Every state still requires at least 1 year as a CPA working in a CPA firm or 1 year working under a CPA. So therefore, if you don't like to go into public accounting, you have to. But the people I talk to who do advisory work, they tell me, hey, working 1 or 2 years in public accounting was good. It taught them all different types of industries and what to look for, how to read financial statements. So yeah, I guess you get a variety of opinions, and that's what's interesting for me on these podcasts.
It is, yeah. People
what
that have,
they're very excited about what they do. And I want to ask you, do you think becoming a CPA, did that change your life at all? Did you look at it that way, that I wanted to be a CPA? Why did you want to be a CPA? I guess that's the question.
that's a really interesting question. I had exposure to this industry, I suppose, when I was younger through my mother studying to be an accountant, and I had some
Oh,
family friends that were accountants. I didn't really know much about it, but I liked business. I liked numbers and math, and so I thought, I declared it too before going into college, and I just connected with it. I'm lucky, I suppose. But I had great professors. I had great instructors. I went to Cal State Long Beach, and it was an amazing experience there. And they have the Cal State system has a great accounting program. And I had mentors. I was involved in mentoring programs there, so I got really great insight into what public accounting is like once you graduate. And so I thought I'll give it a shot. I'll go with it. And it's, no matter what happens, it's a great base to have. And I'm
Oh, yeah, no,
fortunate. I'm
it's the
fortunate to,
language
yeah.
of business, isn't it? It's the language of business.
I mean, I think I'm biased, but yes, this in law, I think is very much the, the basis of
You're
business.
not biased at all. And by
Yeah.
the way, you're not an introvert. But the thing, no, the thing is your mother a CPA?
She's not, she's a teacher. She's a
Oh,
teacher.
really?
So she ended up by going, and she teaches in middle school. And she's been a teacher for, gosh, I think, 20, 30 years at this point. But um, yeah, she didn't end up by doing accounting at all. But I think from her, what I remember her learning was essentially bookkeeping, though. I remember debits and credits and learning about the logic of it all at a, at a young age. And, it made sense. I thought that I was either going to do accounting or engineering. And fate brought me to accounting. So I
Yeah,
think engineering could have been really cool
engineering,
too.
engineering is numbers, isn't it?
It is. It is. I loved calculus in high school and all that sort of nerdy stuff. But I sometimes wonder what it would have been like to be an engineer, because there's so many awesome options there as well, in project management and leadership, and it's a really cool I think career path that I've seen a lot of people go through and be extremely successful at. But I'm happy. I'm happy in accounting, and I'm just I think it starting out in public accounting was hard. It did change my life in ways that, you maybe miss some things because of a busy season. Maybe I didn't travel as much as I should have, but I've gotten to meet so many great people, and I've had such a supportive experience with all of the firms that I've been at, found so many mentors and so many people that have been um, invested in the success of me and my peers, that it's been a great experience through the good times and the bad times. There have been some rough times in accounting. I think everyone
Oh, and
experiences
yeah, yeah.
in
But
any industry.
I don't know if you realize when you start talking about this, you start smiling. Is
Yeah,
anything like that? You start really, I can tell you're really happy in what you're doing. I mean, any job, like you said, has its rough spots, but I'm watching you. When you're explaining to me anything about accounting, public accounting, you just turn and have that smile. You're a
well,
great representative to the profession.
thank you. Thank you. I think it's doing great things. I think that firms are doing wonderful things. I know that we're all growing and changing, and the past couple of years, we've taken a look at what we do and how we can do it better, and how we can be better representative of the public and our clients, and how we can provide service and be more valuable, essentially, to our clients, as opposed to just focusing on compliance and checking boxes. We're really trying to be advisors and just helpers to our clients.
And you just smiled again. You see, you like to help. Are you, I mean, do you help charities too? Or are you involved in charitable endeavors?
I am. I've been involved in several. Right now, I'm focusing. I work with an organization called Girls on the Run Los Angeles, and it's an organization that essentially helps girls find their confidence and find themselves through running a 5K. And it combines some of the things I'm most passionate about, which is empowering women and running. I love to run. So I'm a big runner.
You're
And
so
so
thin. You are really thin. You don't
well,
want to see me yet.
I
You run.
run.
How much do you run every day?
I run, depending on where I'm at in training, I run between 6 and 10 miles, like during the week each day. And
Each
then on
day?
and then on the weekends, I'll do like longer runs, depending on,
I'm
if
gonna
I'm
have
training.
to edit this out. My wife will hear it and then she'll say,
So
get off that couch. No, so,
it's you know what, honestly, I found it when I was a senior in public accounting. I found running, I needed to balance off all the sitting with something. And so I wasn't really a runner, but I just kind of started going block by block and building to different races that I was excited about, and had some goals and met them. And I just kept it up because public accounting is kind of
a race.
yeah, it's a marathon, but you sit a lot, right? I needed to offset the sitting. We didn't have standing desks when I was new to this, but I needed to offset all the sitting with something. And so every night during busy season at like 5 or 6, I would just leave for 30 minutes while everyone was eating and just do a quick run and come back. And that's how I got going with running. And I think it kept me balanced during times where, you feel a little unbalanced because you're working so much.
No, I think that's great. And I wish I could take your philosophy, but God, I hate running and I hate walking, but no, I do watch
Anything,
what I
right?
eat. I do watch what I eat.
That's good. I mean, I think it's good to just have something outside of your career, no matter what your career is. We all have things in life that we have to take care of. You have family or friends that we care for, or, people in our lives. But I think taking a minute for yourself is really important, no matter what that is, whether it's something active or a hobby or, watching whatever Netflix
You're
show you're
absolutely right.
into.
Yeah. No, I have no hobbies. That's the problem. That's why I probably stay in doing this stuff, because I think to myself, if I don't play golf, all right. I used to play tennis, but I can't do singles now. Those days are over. And I can't find people that are off during the day. So I'm not going to run from one side to the other side.
That's very hard.
But
Yeah.
that's all wrong. But no, I never really had, it's interesting. I never had interests that I could say, I love to play golf. A lot of people I know, they play golf and I didn't take up an interest. And that's one thing I regret. And now at
It's
this
never
point in
too
my life,
late.
I can't figure it out though.
It's never too late to do something.
Uh, well, now you've met me for about 45 minutes. What do you think I should do? Now I know you don't. What should
What
I
do you
do?
like? What do you like? Do you like the
Uh,
outdoors?
what do I like? Well, I like to obviously talk to people, but I'm not going to stop people on the street and talk to them. They'll have me incarcerated in some mental institution.
I
You
mean,
know.
nowadays it's more rare to talk in person, right? I mean, everyone's kind of,
Yeah, well, I think we're losing that, aren't we? The personal,
yeah,
emails.
yeah, a lot of emails. Do you like cooking? Are you, maybe
No, but I
like
like
a,
to eat. No,
I've, al-
I've been on a low carbo diet because I got slight diabetes. I don't know if there's anything between slight and diabetes. My blood count went up a little. Now that happened during the pandemic, all right, because the pandemic, as you probably know, it's caused a lot of mental health problems. So after a while, how much Netflix could I watch? I mean, it's so.
true. It's been hard. I think it's hard for a lot of people to slow down or to stay home and find, motivation during such a hard time when there's so much pain in the
Oh,
world.
it was hard.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, if this happens again with another strain of this thing, uh, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. But
I was lucky enough to get a Peloton during the
you
pandemic.
have that thing? Okay.
I do. You know what? I kind of laughed
Where
at
is
it
it?
at
At home? You have
first.
it at home. You don't have it in your
It's
office.
right off screen right there in my
Really?
office. But yeah, I really like that, having something at home to do. I mean, I still ran a lot, but it was fun. I felt like I could connect to people because you have the instructors telling you what to do. They have different, this is a Peloton commercial now, but they have different programming and you can program walks where they talk you through a walk, or they talk you through like a yoga class or a stretch class. And I really like that in a time that I felt really isolated from like my running group, from the people I would, work out with. And I had some kind of fake connection there to the outside world.
Wow, I think that's great. That's really great. That's the way you meet people. But you see, you've been in California all your life, except you were telling me Chicago for a while, but you're
Yep.
predominantly a Californian.
Yeah. And we're all about kind of being outdoors here, right? You're in California because the weather is good all the time, right? It's, and
I hope you have more fires. That's right.
oh gosh, I know. Recently, yeah, that's been really a big struggle for a lot of communities here.
The air is terrible. No, that's been unfortunate. But anyway, I think I started asking you, all right, how is becoming a CPA? All right, tell me how it changed your life, if anything. what has it done to change? If you didn't become a CPA, all right, you think your life would be where you are today, or I guess that's a hard question.
No, it's gotten me out of my shell. It's gotten me out, like I said, I'm an introvert. It's gotten me out of my shell and my bubble, meeting new people, understanding new experiences, learning and growing as a person and a leader. And I don't think I would have gotten that from any other career, honestly. I'm fortunate to work with nonprofits, so I've gotten really connected to a lot of the missions there, and I've become more focused
That's
on,
good.
at least helping to make the world a better place through public accounting, if that's possible. I think a lot of my
That
clients
sounds
might
like
think,
the former commercial for General Electric. Progress is
oh,
our most important product.
right. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a stretch, right? My clients are the ones that are doing amazing things, but I'm happy to support their mission in this way. And that's how maybe public accounting has changed my life. I think it got me to understand, the importance of connection with people. And, I think that was a change for the better. I maybe wish I didn't have so many busy seasons. I think maybe I would have traveled more, or, gone to more weddings, or
it's never too late,
yeah, it's never
right?
too late.
Not to go to weddings, but I'm saying to go travel.
Right. It's hard to go
Uh,
back to all
yeah,
those busy season weddings. But yeah, I mean, that's just something I would have advised my younger self, is that public accounting is a marathon. So if you do need time, if you do need a break, if you want to slow your career down, there are potentially options that you can find, because it doesn't matter if you're hitting, promotion in 3 years here, here, here. It matters about kind of the long term and developing yourself as a person, and don't miss the important things. I tell people that I work with, like, we can always, if there's something important that you need to do, it doesn't matter when it is, we'll make it work. We'll find a way to make it work, because this is an important job, but your life is important too.
of course, of course.
Yeah,
Well, Lauren Haverlock, all right. It was a pleasure meeting you. I really enjoyed talking with you.
it was
And
great to meet you as well.
I wish you the best. And I hope, I hear you as a partner at some point, which I'm sure that's going to happen. There's no doubt that's going to happen. And I appreciate you coming on the podcast to share your experience with people who will watch this. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And I wish you a good rest of the year. Stay healthy, stay safe. All right. And no more
Too.
fires. No more fires.
No more fires. Exactly.
Well, everyone, this is Phil Yaeger. And once again, thank you for watching this CPA review and more. I just want to mention one thing. My wife, as I've mentioned many, many times, about 5 years ago, became a Parkinson's patient. Luckily, it hasn't advanced that much, but I started working with the Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation. Now, Parkinson's has their own foundation, but Michael J. Fox, they've actually done research, come up with some new drugs to help people deal with the Parkinson's. So if you can, please go to the internet and look up the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's, and give something. If it's $5, $10, all right, please. You're doing that for yourself. Also, I'm asking you to do it for me. Okay, all right. And I'll tell you, you'll feel better about it. And I hope you don't have that, any family member getting that. There's so many horrible diseases. So anyway, everyone, take care. Appreciate you watching. And don't forget, we'll be back again every Tuesday with a different guest and a different topic. Be good, stay well, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.